Hello, hello. Hi, Cal. How you doing? I'm dying. I'm glad that my Blue Sky bot works. That's pretty convenient. Let me see. I got some questions before we start writing. We're back to regular ass sprints today, for once. So I won't be doing any book reading anymore. Obviously, we're gonna be writing today. Crazy. Let me think here. When does the Eurovision semifinalists? Oh my god. It'll start at 1 p.m. And it's going to be about an hour and a half. Okay, so by the time we get done with stream today, or about, no, it's just kidding, not an hour and a half. I'm full of shit. It's about 2 hours. So we should know by the end of the day today who is going to be in the overall Eurovision finals from round 1 today. If Aquilas doesn't make it, I swear to God, I'm going to throw myself into the sun. I just don't care about anybody else. Who the hell is in the vibe again? Who is in the running today? Eurovision semi-final 1 running order. Let's see. Who is doing this today? The gays gotta win. So they're gonna start with Moldova. Okay, actually, I do like Moldova. Moldova's fine. Sweden's is also pretty good. And then Greece is what we care about. Portugal is fine. Yeah, God, I feel like just everybody else. I know Poland is probably going to make it because I think people will like her music. Belgium is fine as well. But I swear to God, there's a reason they front-loaded it like this. I think. And then they're trying to finish out with somebody like Poland. Or somebody high energy. Vanilla and Ninja needs to fucking go. They need to fucking go. But I think the way that the semifinals work is that, like, 5 are going to get eliminated. Or only 10 people are going to go forward, I think is how that works. I don't fucking know. I'm sorry Twitch is freaking out on you. Oh my god. That's stressful. Well, I did want to let everybody know, too, that the VOD for the live reading last night is indeed up. I also wanted to showcase as well some really sweet stuff from Badrick, actually. Badrick is the fucking best, and left some reviews for my books on Goodreads that I wanted to showcase and see. Let's see, these are all... They might not have gone up yet. They might still be being moderated, which is totally fine. But I wanted to shout out Badrick because they said, for this Desert Cage, an amazing book which I thoroughly enjoyed reading. The world building is incredible as the author draws you into the world of Sageno and its inhabitants. And then for the sequel, this book is an incredibly written story with many twists and turns. The author does a wonderful job of taking you along on the adventure of Taran and his friends, and I loved every moment of it. P.S. I love Ami. I love that Ami is the fan favorite of this particular book. To be honest, the poor fucking kid just wants to ride their ATV and not die. That's the overall vibe. I get it. I understand. Me too. Okay, well, enjoy your time over on YouTube. But that being said, let me open up we can get some cool sound effects going over on YouTube so that way it's not just dead fucking silence while I'm writing, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's do it. Let me get some rain and cafe sounds to match our little background here. But yeah, overall, I still haven't gotten word back. This judging for this contest, the open novella contest, is taking a really long time. We got a couple of updates, but I also now have a friend on here who are they write a lot and update a bunch of gay shit. No information on the open novella contest as of right now. Man, a lot of people were trying to submit like 4 days late. That's crazy. Let me see if they have any information on that. Yeah, because they're working on round 2 winners. And round 3... What are they working on? Hold on, let me go look at their announcements, because they have that information. What did they say here? They said they're working on round 2 winners and ambassador picks and round 3 qualifiers soon. So it's going to be, I think, a long judging process for this contest, to be honest. Now pouring gasoline. Also, actually, I want to listen to... Let me see... They released some new shit recently. Hello? Can I see all of their albums? They just released a new thing. I'll have to listen to their discography on a different day. I'm actually going to add this to this playlist. Where is it? Hold on, I got it. I'm going to also add this to the queue because I just want to listen to it today. All right, let me roll the dice and pay the price. Shakety, shakety, shakety. Also, after my event on the 21st, everything in my store is going to be 60% off, by the way. Wow, okay, that's fine. That's the most cursed thing ever. That's crazy. So we're doing a 7-minute sprint. You are at 85 now. I actually did get the notification on my end. I wondered if you were, like, dying or not. That's okay. Cool. That's amazing, though. You are too powerful. I'm scared. I'm gonna be like the Duolingo owl, where I'm gonna haunt you in the middle of the night as you, like, you know, slowly build up a streak, become too powerful. That's terrifying. All right, well, on that note, I'm just gonna jump into my first 7-minute sprint, and it's so short, so I'm going to pick up writing. We're in Act 2 of the Barise story, so I'm kind of curious to see how it goes, and I will try and write for 7 minutes, and I'll be back soon. Here we go. All right, well, that was the shortest sprint of literally all time. Crazy. I wrote 360 words. That ain't it. It ain't it, guys. Hi, Melpomanea. I almost didn't recognize you. Yes, I did get a new profile pic. It's my new author photo for the back of Fatal Mechanisms and for Mirror Gaze as well. So I like to do a new self-portrait every year for my new releases. This year, the theme was Junji Ito. I hope you're doing well, though. We're working on just doing writing sprints today. I'm back in writing the Von Altus novellas. I'm about 10K, almost 10K words into the Baris one, and my goal is 25K-ish for all of them. Yes, the Uzumaki swirl. No, it's true. I was like, how do I feel? And I was like, I feel like this hole was made for me, guy. That's how I feel. I was like, I have to twist my insides into a spiral. I respect Junji Ito a lot. We don't talk about the anime. But yeah, finally taking some time to write, which is nice. And hanging out. Jason's at a doctor's appointment, and this is effectively all I have to do. By God, why did the TikTok shop throw this at the speed of sound? Okay, so I ordered something from the TikTok shop for the first time. Oh, it's shipping via Amazon. That's crazy. So I ordered something from the TikTok shop for the first time. It is kind of funny that I feel like the TikTok shop is a direct competitor to Amazon, and yet the Amazon package, it's being delivered by Amazon. That is super weird. I don't know. But I got one of those weird hand-shaped neck massagers, and we're gonna figure out if it's actually good or not. We're gonna learn. I'm very excited. I wonder if the 98 action Tomie movie is good. I don't know. I've never seen that one either. I don't normally watch a lot of horror. I can read horror, but watching horror is always really difficult for me. I am surprised that I made it through Soma. That was like a Christmas miracle, truly. I just find myself getting super disappointed by jump scares. Like whenever they happen, I'm just like, really? Like I'm mad. I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at myself because then I'm just shaking and not having a good time, and I'm like, well, that ruined it. I appreciate Japanese horror more because it's more psychological. There's like a lot less, like, yeah, sure, they might have jump scary moments, but a lot of it is more thematic, which I love. Interesting. There's a live action Uzumaki movie as well. Interesting. The poor anime, they didn't deserve that. I just think about the weird, them running across, I think it's like the beach, and their run cycle is like so bad. What happened? People are like legitimately, why was this the worst anime literally ever made? And I'm like, I don't know. Yikes. It was development hell. So, this person, I don't know the credibility of this source. An executive producer for Uzumaki says that the decline in animation quality was due to being, quote, screwed over during production, in his own words. Apparently, they were faced with the choice either A, abandon the product entirely, B, complete just episode 1 and leave it unfinished, or C, air all 4 episodes on the tightest deadline ever made. So, very, very sad. It sucks. So, they clearly didn't want that, and the studio dicked them. Super sad. Yeah, the Japanese horror I've seen are all good at atmosphere. I agree. I'm a huge fan of, like, one of my favorite game franchises is actually Silent Hill. Love it to death. So good. Great narrative, wonderful pacing, great atmospheric storytelling. Absolutely love it. I even like the weird movies. I don't know how the new movie did. I'm kind of scared. I've heard mixed reviews on it. But a lot of people hated the original movie as well. But I liked that movie, so I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, like legit, I don't think people would have been mad with like a motion comic even. You know what I mean? Like seriously, anything would have been better than whatever the hell happened. My god, it was so bad. Cuz then you could tell they were just super rushed. They didn't have the time to like fully animate anything, and so it's like, okay, that is the opposite of what we wanted. Terrible. I do feel bad. Anime has that issue a lot where if the studio decides that they're done with whatever they're doing, then all of a sudden you're responsible for finishing it, but then like also their animators are being paid like $20 and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I 100% agree, Melpomenea. I feel like it phases kind of like a Thief and the Cobbler issue, and if you're unfamiliar with it, it's the considered the most expensive, or the not one of the most expensive animation projects of all time, but it I think holds the record for being in development hell the longest of any feature length animated project ever. It was in development hell for like 30 years, and in today money, it cost the equivalent of Disney making Frozen, and then it was never finished. Crazy. And some parts of that are effectively just storyboards, but people were happy to see it finished and actually be able to watch it, even though it's technically unfinished. It's a great project, and the parts of it that are finished are beautiful, but like, yeah, development hell, cursed. All right, I'm reading my tarot reading for the day. Ooh. Interesting. Hopefully something good will happen today. We'll see. Yeah, it's a great movie. No, it's so good. Like the animation style is amazing, and with the scenes that have like the craziest level of detail, there's clearly a lot of love that got put into it. I think compared to like a Disney piece from that period, The Thief and the Cobbler has a lot more life in terms of tone and execution. But yeah, the guy just kept reanimating shit. He didn't stop. He wouldn't stop. To some extent, that's when you have to take executive control away from people, and you're like, bro, you're making this bad. You're making this bad for everybody. Your animators want to die, okay? Okay, we got a normal size sprint now. An average sized one that's not like 7 minutes long. The problem with such short sprints is that like I'll be in a scene and then I get like yanked out of it. My brain is like, "What's happening?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this 18-minute sprint. So let me know what you're working on, or if you're just hanging out playing games. Let me know what you're doing today, and then I will be back in about 18 minutes. Here we go. Not me having to look up pictures of Vermont to be like, what does this place look like? Hi, Chips. How you doing today? Hey, that's exciting. I'm glad that your PC hopefully will be up and running soon. I'm like so scared to move mine. I'm like, I hope my dad just fucking ratchets the thing down and then just like we pray. I gotta back everything off of it. Alright, let's see. How much have I written today so far? I have written almost 1,100 words. We're getting there. Maurice is in this creepy ass house. I love making up lore, like local lore for towns. And this stupid house has been featured multiple times in the Brady series. This house is called Hill House. And it's this nasty, abandoned, like, 1920s house that sits at the very edge of town, just past, like, the rich people stuff. Like, it's this nasty old house. It's so crusty. Kids go in there and smoke crack and fucking get drunk and do parties in there. So I'm glad that Hill House got to make, like, another comeback. The last time I had mentioned Hill House in the Brady series was in The Dastardly Gin, and Blockhead goes to party with his rich girlfriend, who definitely probably does crack, by the way. Or not crack, cocaine. She probably does cocaine. So she's like, you want to go to a party at Hill House? And they're like, yeah. And then I'm sure Dimitri showed up in there, and he was like, oh god. I have many regrets, actually. This is, all of a sudden I have entered an episode of Euphoria, and I don't want to be here. Terrible. Don't do that. Ooh, Ben & Jerry's released some new ice cream flavors. Oh my god, also in other good indie industry news, the Amazing Digital Circus's pre-sale tickets for their event in June has surpassed $7.5 million, and I am so proud of them. Like, that's crazy. I'm so happy for them. This is a crime scene waiting to happen. Blockhead probably. Well, apparently, that was not what went through his head, because Helen found him in the morning passed out on a couch. I don't think he, like, did anything super bad. I imagine he had a couple of beers and then, like, went to sleep because he was just tired. I don't think he would have done anything gross. But, like, I think about all the couches in there and how many people have had sex on those couches. Like, it's so nasty in there, bro. Like, the blacklight, if you took a blacklight in there... So scary. And it's been like that for several decades. Like, Rollo went to go there to probably also do hard drugs and party. He was probably doing, like, shrooms, though. I don't think it was anything, like, super crazy. Drugs are bad, kids. Drugs are bad, okay? But I'm glad the house got to make a comeback, and I'm glad I get to explore the interior of this thing, like, effectively, 30 years earlier, and it's like, it's just as fucked up as it was, or 20 years earlier. Just as disgusting. Yeah, Rollo's done a lot of shit. Like, I guarantee if you ask him, there's probably very few things that he hasn't done. I don't think he's really, like, a meth guy. I don't think he would have tried meth. He's definitely like an Adderall guy, guaranteed at some point. Was Adderall even a thing back then? I don't think he would have done, like, Ritalin. Oh yeah, so no, Adderall was after his time. He would have probably done it, though. But definitely shrooms and LSD are in his wheelhouse, I guarantee. He probably tried coke and was like, that was boring. Lots of weed. I feel like Brady as an adult is like, I need you to come clean, sir. Speaking of that shit, canonically, Brady Von Altus would be 18 years old this year, so I feel fucking ancient. It's a very weird thing to think about. Oh my god. That emote is insane. The little flaily arms, I swear to god. Crazy. Yeah, Brady was 10 in 2008, so... Or not 2008, 2018. He was born in 2008. So... He's definitely, I think he counts as, like, young Gen Z. Yeah, he's like young Gen Z. So... That puts Dimitri solidly in Gen Z, because he would have been born in the year 2000. He's a Y2K kid. Alright. This one is also another short-ish sprint. Let's see if Maurice will find whatever is killing all the kids in his town in this creepy attic. I'm very pleased with this story, actually, with these 3 sets of novellas. I'm thinking about I'm trying to figure out if I want to release the King of Dust short stories, because I have 3 of them, as like a little prequel novella, like a single one being like, yeah, here's 3 short stories about these characters and how they met. But I don't know if anybody would be interested in them. It may be like one of those things where if somebody buys King of Dust and I want to just like give it to somebody, then it's a freebie. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do that, because I don't think that the stories function well enough as a standalone. Versus, this thing definitely does. This thing would be like, you could sell it by itself. I don't know. Maybe I'll release an uber ultra special edition that has like the short stories in it, and take down the lovely special edition that I have now, because that's like technically the Kickstarter edition, and once they sell out, like once I'm out of stock, then that thing gets taken down. So we'll see. Maybe I'll shove them in the back of there. Anything can happen. Oh my god, I forgot that people raided the EA office. The EA raid. How did it go? They unrolled the scroll. Crazy. So many people protested at EA today. Holy shit. They had a 50-foot scroll with a bunch of, like, I think it's like 70,000 signatures on it, being like, don't sell to Saudi Arabia. Absolutely nuts. All right, well, on that note, I want to go ahead and jump back into this thing. And we'll see how it goes. Here we go. All right. Welcome in, Bugsick Bunny, if you're still in here. Good to see you. Yeah, we're listening to a playlist that's themed around the characters of my novella that I'm working on. These guys grew up in the 70s and 80s, so there's a lot of fun throwback pieces in here. I wrote 1,600 words so far. Hi, Chips. Hello again. Yeah, I have a new profile picture. It's a new author portrait. I like to do a new one every year, every time I release a new book. Because I'd rather have like an art self-portrait on the back of my books than like a photograph. I'm still not comfortable enough with my face, I think, to like put a photo, author photo. But the new pic is also over in the Discord. And if you want like a closer look at something that's not like super small, but it's got like some Fatal Mechanism themes to it. Like the red eclipsed sun behind my head is the logo of the fascist organization in that book. So kind of fun. Some little Easter eggs. Maurice found a corpse pile. Ain't good. Ain't fucking good. It's fun to be able to like actually get to write about folklore that I didn't get to touch on too much in the Brady books. Like there are characters that I have been waiting to have like or to come back. I'm interested in this guy. I think he's going to be present in a good couple of future Brady novels as well. Otherwise, though, I do love this. I'm excited to be able to write Aiden. I'm curious. I'm curious. I don't know what this guy's motives are 100% yet. So I have to like, I don't know, hopefully I'll learn more about him as I write this and then I'll be able to get better answers for when I work on the Blockhead piece as well. Why did I just see a photograph of Danny Elfman? And I haven't seen him in several years, and I was like, who the fuck is that? God damn it, of course this is after I'm moving to Canada. Danny Elfman is coming to the Ford Amphitheater in Colorado Springs on August 22nd, and he's playing scores from his films, including Batman, Edward Scissorhands, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Beetlejuice live in concert. And of course, this is right after I fucking leave. Damn it, Danny. Curse you, Danny Elfman. Okay, alright. Also, can we talk about the cultural phenomenon of so many people randomly becoming Catholic priests? What the fuck is going on with that right now? I'm so confused. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? Shia LaBeouf did a film called Padre Pio about being a Catholic priest. He since has converted from Judaism into Catholicism and is trying to become a deacon. And then apparently the CEO, ex-CEO of Elf, the cosmetics company, the makeup company, has given up his entire fortune and also become a Catholic priest. Like, there's a surprising number of people who randomly are like, I'm a priest now. And I'm like, this is a weird trend. It's and like definitely not dogging on people for exploring new faiths and stuff. Like supposedly that's been helping Shia LaBeouf, for example, a lot with his alcoholism. So like I'm good with whatever people want to do. But I do think it's very strange that it's specifically Catholic priests. It's not anything else. It's not like, I remember when I was younger, the big hit story was like Lindsay Lohan briefly converting to Islam to also help with her drug issues, and apparently she had a wonderful time. So I don't think that she's Muslim anymore. But I remember when I was a kid, this was like in post 9/11 culture. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, Lindsay Lohan's jumped off the deep end." She had a very nice time apparently, and went to like a wellness retreat somewhere with other Muslim women, and it was very beneficial. So I know that these kinds of religious experiences can be beneficial to people, but I do find it funny that Catholic priests that's the trending, that's it. Wild. Shia LaBeouf has a fun little Friar Tuck haircut now. Yep. This looks like Shia LaBeouf is a time traveler who has come from the year 1100 to be a friar. He looks confused. He looks like he's like, fuck, I time traveled and now I'm going back to the only place I know and understand, which is the inside of a Catholic church, because I tried to assimilate with the outside and I can't fucking figure out how. I love this for him. Yeah, I feel like as a former Catholic myself, I recognize I had pretty good experiences actually in the Catholic Church. So of all the things, I'm glad that these people are not going and being like, I'm becoming like a born again evangelical and completely flipping out. So definitely, I don't know if he's doing the whole Latin Mass thing though. Because there's a lot of structure. Surprisingly, we're now seeing massive amounts of Gen Z kids actually turning to Orthodox religions. So a lot of people are converting to Catholicism just overall. But rich billionaire donates all his money and becomes Catholic priest was not on my 2026 bingo card. And that's such a specific move. Stefania. Yeah, because like the Orthodox Catholics in Greece were just like delightful. They were super, super nice. But yeah, I think people are looking for structure. Like if you've never been inside like a Catholic mass, it's super structured. If you have good priests, you're pretty much in a good spot, to be honest. I don't think I ever really had like any issues with that in particular. But I do think about all the really weird shit like the Knights of the Sepulchre, or like weird, I don't even remember what that shit was called. We got kicked out of the church one time because we showed up at the wrong mass. Let's see, Catholic women dressed in all black veils. What is it called? What the fuck is this thing called? It's called a mantilla or a chapel veil. There was a specific ceremony, and this was not it. Hold on, because I'm trying to find, when I say it was really weird. I will never be able. I'll have to ask my mom. I'll have to be like, what was that one thing that we defo were not supposed to be in that one time? It had to do with the Knights of the Sepulchre, and I don't remember like what was going on. But I feel like as soon as you show up to a Catholic church and you see like I have hesitancy about it, because for context, there's a lot of loaded history with this. I won't show some of the images because some of them are triggering. Hold on, where the hell? I need this image. Like a certain Secretary of War in the U.S. has this specific thing tattooed on his chest. So there's a lot of weird shit going on, and I'm hoping that these people get into Catholic environments that are wholesome, and they don't get immediately dragged into what I would call like the Crusades butthole. Scared. Scary. Scary. Point being, scary. Yeah, because my Catholic priest was the only one that defended me from like Nazi ass neo evangelical, so I deeply respect him and what he helped me through. But it's still I still ultimately like deconstructed from the faith at the end of the day. Like no matter what, regardless of how helpful he was, like weird shit. One ex-Mormon trans guy I saw on TikTok who talked about rejoining the Mormon church to see if he could become a priest now. Yeah, I mean, some people do that shit. Well, and you could hope that they can kind of change the shit from the inside out. It's tricky because, like, I would be hesitant to do that. Like, I just watched the Catholic Church try and oust a trans priest. He was a German priest, I believe. And his argument was like, I look like a man, I act like a man, I'm celibate. That was really his argument. Is it's like, I'm not having sex, I'm not committing any sins, and so in theory I should be able to be a priest because I'm not doing anything that goes against the catechism. And in the end, they did rule that yes, indeed, he as a trans man is allowed to be a priest because he, by for all intents and purposes, according to the catechism, is a man. So good for him. But I also feel like European Catholic spaces are way different than American Catholic spaces. Because I wonder what people's motives are here. It's an interesting place to be. But yeah, first Shia LaBeouf and now this random guy. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and jump back into sprints now that I have fallen down whatever the hell that hole was. And I'm going to see if I can try and get through this section. I need to make this actually flow. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get back in there. Oh yeah, different from South American Catholics as well. Sort of. I have a lot of thoughts on that. I won't say anything because it has the risk of being offensive. But as somebody who was raised by an abuelo who was a residential school kid, who was effectively abused by Hispanic Catholics, and a system of abuse in that way, I think that they are equally just as problematic as North American Catholics, in my experience. I had significantly less issues with European Catholics in many instances, but I won't say anything because I don't want to like offend anybody. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into this sprint. Okay, now I have to write a really hard section. That was such a... 16 minutes is like nothing. I was doing a bunch of research. I feel like I wrote absolutely nothing. I got stuck in research town. I have like 2,200 words, and that's like fine. I'm writing slower today than I usually do, but that's alright. I feel like when working on the Liz novella, I was just like so locked in because I had to meet that like word count deadline. But with this is a little bit, it's taking a little bit longer. As soon as Liz got into the fairy realm, it was easy because there wasn't like anything that was like holding me down. It was like, all right, I know this place. But I'm gonna get up really quick and take a brief break and stretch my leggies. I'm struggling to get the metal shield for the USBs and stuff on the case. Oh my god, that is actually kind of the worst, though. And those little suckers will pop out. They're slippery. I hate them. Alright, I will be right back. I got some water. Ugh. Scientists have learned that the T-Rex actually ran like an ostrich, and that's fucking terrifying to me. Hi, Mom. Welcome into sprints. We mostly do a lot of work on... oh my god, finally a long sprint. We mostly do a lot of work to timers. We got a 27-minute sprint finally, guys. It's not 7 minutes. Oh my god, that was the worst. So, because I actually just got up and took a break, everybody should definitely go stretch your leggies if you have not stretched your leggies in a little bit. I'm glad you got the bio shield. You did it. No, I used to have this janky case that had it was like the part that popped into the case itself, where the back of the graphics card would go, and that thing would just fucking fall off. It was great, very, very effective. I'm honestly surprised that it didn't cause a short, because it really should have. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and work for 27 minutes, and then I will be back very shortly. So, good luck building your computer, and I'll be back very soon. Here we go. Hey Sano, I'm gonna respond really quick since you're over on YouTube and I can't type in the chat, but we're in the middle of sprints, so I'll be done in about 3 minutes and then I'll come back to chat. All right. Okay, now I feel like I'm actually moving. Hi Sano, welcome back. Thanks for stopping in again. Let's see, today I managed to write. That was a good flow. I felt good about that. Okay, about almost 4K. That's better. That's better. I was worried that I was not going to get into the flow and not like be able to write effectively. That's a great scene. Good job, Baris. A plus. Baris learned Fireball, guys. A plus. I am working on a series of novellas that are a tie-in to my Brady Von Altus books. The Brady Von Altus series is a middle grade series that I wrote of 5 award-winning books, and they're meant for kids. But I've always wanted to expand on the universe itself. The Brady books follow the youngest kid in the family, Brady, and his very bizarre magical family. This is Brady. And he's got all sorts of stuff going on in his family. His dad has a fireball for a head, and his aunt is like a Rusalka. She's a Slavic swamp witch. His uncle is dead. He has a cousin that has like a little wooden block for a head. And this kid is just trying to live a normal life, and shit gets absolutely crazy constantly around him. So now that I'm done with this particular series, I wanted to write a set of kind of like how did we get here novellas about the older members of his family. So I just finished Liz's novella. It's called The Witch in the Woods. For a contest. It's the 3rd novella in the series, so I started on Baris's, and then I worked backwards to Liz, and then now I'm back at Baris again. His is called The Wolf in the Walls. But eventually, I want to release each of these novellas by themselves. So they'd be like 20k words, 25k words ish each. But writing these prequel novels has been really, really fun. It allows me to explore darker topics than what I could look at in the Brady books because those were meant for kids. So Liz deals a lot with like postpartum depression and losing your children, and she has to deal with like the Fairy King and all of this other shit. She becomes a Rusalka and kills herself, truly, because that's how you become a fairy in Russian and Ukrainian folklore, is you die. Versus Boris's is a lot more about mental health and fighting. Like arguably, I would argue that Boris deals with like symptoms similar to schizophrenia all the time, just because he's constantly trying to be pulled back into the fairy realm and to do what he's supposed to do as a shape-shifting fairy, and he just will not do it because he wants to be a nurse. So I love these novellas, and I'm glad I finally get to like explore the older siblings. So for this one, we're at about 13k, so really I have about 12k-ish left to go before this particular novella is done, and then I get to move on to Rolo's, where Rolo goes and joins the Russian mob in the peak of the USSR in 1986, and then gets run over by a train. So it's fun. All of these adults have crazy backstories, and they're all equally fucked up. Also, thank you so much for that 40 stream streak, Carrix. That's so nice of you. Welcome in. Why did he choose to be a nurse? I think Boris, because he recognizes that he knows what it's like to suffer. Like, he's in pain constantly, mentally and physically. So I think if he can alleviate that, that's suffering for other people, that's really his goal. So while he's a phone nurse, he's not necessarily the most effective nurse of all time. He does often, I think, deal with patients that just call him and are like, "I'm bleeding." He has to be like, "Go to the ER." It's like there's not really anything that he can do. But I think he does, as like a phone nurse, a lot of his conversations are like, mom's calling him in the middle of the night being like, "Hey, my kid's not breastfeeding. What do I do? I can't get to sleep. I don't know what to do." And he's the one to like be the calm in the storm and walk people through really hard shit. And I think he's really good at it. So having to have dealt with it himself. Not really into those types of novels. Well, if you like a Coraline or a series of unfortunate events, the Brady books are definitely that. I would argue that the older, like these novellas that I'm working on right now, are more comparable to like Neil Gaiman's American Gods, or Anansi Boys, T.J. Klune's, some of T.J. Klune's work, like maybe Beyond the Whispering Door might be comparable as well. So it's very speculative, folklore fantasy specifically. I would compare it to The Bear and the Nightingale, but I think that as a YA, it's not as dark as these adult novellas. These are really like character pieces for sure. But I think Boris finally has like at least some semblance of a handle on the Dark Realm. It's hard. He's gonna go fight a Slua. He's gonna go punch a Slua in the throat. But yeah, I love Boris so fucking much. But if you're in the US, all of my books are available if you have the Libby app. All of my books are available via public libraries. So if you ever want to read my books for free, and also I get paid for it, that's a great way to read my work. Okay, so now Boris has to go punch this thing in the throat so that it stops, like, eating people. Oh, I only read light novels. I gotcha. Yeah, I don't think, read a single light novel in my whole life. I used to read a lot of manga, but I recognize light novels have, like, a completely different structure than, like, typical American novels. Also, everybody should sit up. It looks like we got a self-care combo. I'm gonna be drinking water. But if you're ever looking to stretch out into fantasy novels, you should definitely check my work out. I've found that a lot of people find my work really approachable. They're not very long. So much like light novels, they, like the Brady books are all like 50K words or less. Most of them are like 30K words. So they're very short. But even adults love them, though they're written for kids. They got a lot of like really dark, fun stuff going on in the background. But most of my books are award winning. I'm very proud of that, even though I'm an indie author myself. As an adult, I can say they are a delightful read. I'm glad. So far, it seems like everybody loves Brady. I feel like Brady is a hard kid to hate, and honestly, I feel like if you hate Brady, it says a lot about you as a person. Terrifying. All right, well, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try, let's see, so this is kind of where I'm at in my outline. So now I think I'm going to maybe try and finish up this last section. And, yeah, well, if you want to read, Asano, if you want to read any samples of my work, you can go to my website, tychodorian.com. If you open the description underneath the live, my website is there. And all of my books, all of them have free samples. You can read like the first 3 chapters of every single one of my books for free. And then some of my books are just 100% free. Like King of Dust is free, Mirror Gaze is free, The Betrayer's Blade is free. So a lot of them I host through like Wattpad. But I would be so delighted if you checked it out. Brady's just a goofy little guy. Yeah, he has no idea what the fuck's going on. He's 11. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. But, alright, so I think I'm going to try and get through this next section. And I think I'm going to rework this a little bit. I don't like the original beat that I outlined. So, let's roll some more dice. Here we go. Let's see if we get like a decent sized sprint again, or if we're going to be trapped in 7-minute hell like we were. Okay, I mean it's a mid length. It's not the shortest. It could have been worse. Could have been worse. All right, so I'm going to do this last sprint. We'll go a little bit over stream, but of course, if anybody has any questions about my work or my books, let me know. Because I'd love to talk about my OCs and my stories and why I wrote what I wrote. But I'm going to go ahead and try and get this, I think, are we like, where are we at? Oh, God, this section is going to be quite long. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm excited to get back into this. So let me write just a little bit more, and then I will see you at the end of the sprint. Here we go. All right. Okay, enter Aiden. Now I get to write some fun dialogue. Aiden's, it's tough. I feel like a lot of the villains in the Brady series are not like truly evil, or the people that I think that are really, really, really evil are fine. Like Azra's fine. She's just sick of genocide. She did some horrible shit, but she's not like the worst. And Valerian in his essence, I don't think is really that bad either. So I'm kind of curious. I'm like, is Aiden truly a super sick fuck, or is he fine? I don't know. I don't know. But all in all, today I wrote a grand total of let's see. A grand total of almost 5,000 words. I am speed. I am lightning! Everybody should drink some liquids before we go. But that'll be the end of this stream today, I think. But thank you so much for everybody who hung out. Of course, if you guys want to read The Witch in the Woods, that thing is live on Wattpad. It is free. It's currently being evaluated for a contest, and I tend to not write too grimdark. It does have some darker themes, but I'd be super thrilled if you guys wanted to give that a read and just vote or upvote it on Wattpad. That would be awesome. It probably would take like 2 to 3 hours to read through the whole thing, and it would be really awesome to be able to get some feedback on it and what you guys think about the story overall. So if you want to go ahead and read that, let me go ahead and get you the linky here. I got it. Here's The Witch in the Woods. There you go. As always, too, I'm still looking for any early backers that I can get on my backer kit campaign. So you can find that information in the Discord if you're curious about it. It's over in the announcement section of Discord. As of right now, I am about 30% funded before the backer kit has even launched, which is absolutely crazy. So I'm very excited about that. And otherwise, if you do want to back it, let me know. Send me a DM and I can send you a super special early backer link where you can get some discounts. So, yeah, I'm going to be back tomorrow working on the comic. So I hope that everybody has a good rest of your day. I'm going to go kind of take it easy, take a little bit of a breaky break, and maybe do some grocery shopping. And I hope everybody has a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.